important method for optimizing web performance is to utilize caching. The cache is a temporary storage location in a visitor's browser for files downloaded to display a website. When a browser needs to retrieve a file from a server to load it for a visitor, this can be slow and expensive depending on the size of the file and the geographical distance between the visitor and the server hosting that file. Imagine we're visiting our favorite online store, and when we load the store's homepage, our browser gathers the basic HTML, some CSS to style the page, some images including the store's logo and products available, JavaScript to make the shop interactive, and a bunch of third-party resources to track how we interact with the online store or connect other sites like social media. Now, as we walk through the process of selecting a product, adding it to the cart, and checking out, we may hit multiple pages that use some of the same images or resources. Imagine, for example, that the store's logo is always in the top left corner on each page. If our browser has to go fetch that logo from the server for each page in the checkout process, then we could spend a lot of time waiting, dealing with network latency for those logo images to make round trips back to us. But if our browser knows that the logo image will always be the same, we can save that image in our cache and save ourselves the round trip. Now we can load each page in the checkout a little bit faster because we're not waiting on a request for that file. In general, caching files and resources is helpful and effective for optimizing web performance, and it's especially helpful on sites where visitors might need to load multiple similar pages to complete a user flow. If we know that a file is not going to change until a far future date, we should implement far future caching for that file. But what if I'm the web developer for that online store's site, and today we're updating our logo to be a new rebranded logo? How do I tell my visitors that they can no longer use that old logo they have saved in their cache? They need to request a new one. As a web developer, I have the ability to control some information for each file about how long browsers can cache them and when they expire. I can set an expires header or cache control on that file with information to say, this is valid until a specific date, or this file has a max age in a number of days. Alternatively, I could change the name for the file in the source code for the page. If the name is different, the browser won't recognize the file as being the same and will turn around to request a new version. For this reason, some developers might choose to implement a URL version control method for file names. It's important to consider which elements make sense to cache and which ones shouldn't be cached, because caching too many things can actually be counterproductive for performance. If a visitor's browser cache is full, they could experience slower page load times or errors. In most cases, we do want to make sure that common files have a cache control set with a max age that's far in the future. Optimization tools like Rigor Optimization can scan a site and identify all of the resources that have no caching information set or files where the cache is going to expire too soon.